Hey everyone, and welcome to the Women of War podcast, where we dive into the untold stories of women's bravery, struggles, and resilience in the midst of conflict. I am your host, Megan, and together we'll explore the powerful narratives of women who've stood on the front lines, those who have been caught in the crossfires, and the lasting impact war has had on their lives. From ancient warriors to modern day heroes, we'll uncover the roles women have played in shaping history throughout war and peace. So grab your headphones and let's embark on this journey to hear the voices of women who fought battles both seen and unseen. Get ready for an eye-opening experience on the Women of War podcast. Welcome back to Women of War. And today we're going to be talking about Emmaline Pankhurst. She was a pioneering force in women's rights and war effort. So I hope you enjoy. Let's jump right in. Emmaline Pankhurst, born Emmaline Golden on July 15th, 1858 in Manchester, England, was a pivotal figure in the British suffrage movement. Her upbringing in a politically active family ingrained in her the values of social justice and activism. Her parents, Robert and Sophia, were huge advocates for women's rights and social reform, influencing young Emmaline's worldviews. She attended École Normale Supérieure in Paris, which furthered her education and broadened her perspectives on social issues. In 1879, Emmaline married Richard Pankhurst, a barrister, or as we know them as lawyers, known for supporting women's suffrage. Together they had 5 children: Chrysabel, Sylvia, Adele, Frank, and Henry Francis. Despite her responsibilities as her mother, Emmaline remained deeply involved in political activities, working with various organizations that aimed to secure voting rights for women. Many of her children followed in their footsteps. Richard's legal work included drafting the first women's suffrage bill in 1869 and the Married Women's Property Act of 1882, further inspiring Emmaline's activism. Richard's untimely death in 1898 left Emmaline to carry their shared vision. In 1903, she founded the Women's Social Political Union, WSPU, an organization dedicated to deeds, not words, disguising itself with a more militant approach compared to other suffrage groups. Emmaline Pankhurst grew increasingly frustrated with the slow progress of women's suffrage movement through the conventional political means. Under Pankhurst's leadership, the WSPU adopted confrontational tactics, including public demonstrations, hunger strikes, and civil disobedience. These methods often led to violent clashes with authorities and numerous arrests. Emmaline herself was arrested multiple times, enduring harsh prison conditions and forced feeding during hunger strikes. These sacrifices highlighted severe injustice women faced and brought significant public attention to their cause. Many people spoke out against Pankhurst's family. In 1913, several prominent individuals left the WSPU, among them Pankhurst's younger daughters, Adele and Sylvia. Emmaline was so furious that she gave Adele a ticket, £20, and a letter of introduction to a suffrage movement in Australia, and firmly insisted that she emigrate. Adele complied, and the family rift was never healed. Sylvia did become a part of the socialist movement. With the outbreak of World War I in 1914, Pankhurst made a strategic decision to shift the WSPU's focus towards supporting the war effort. She believed that demonstrating women's patriotism and capability in times of national crisis would strengthen their case for suffrage. The WSPU suspended its militant activities and encouraged women to take on roles traditionally held by men, such as working in factories and serving as nurses, and fulfilling various positions in public service. Emmeline herself was instrumental in organizing and mobilizing women for the war effort. She established the Women's Party of 1917, advocating for women's involvement in post-war Reconstruction and pushing for policies like equal pay and family allowances. Her efforts during the war showcased women's ability to contribute significantly to society beyond domestic roles. Pankhurst's wartime effort paid off when Representation of the People Act of 1918 granted voting rights to women over 30 who met minimum property qualifications. Although this was not full suffrage, it marked a significant victory and a step towards equality. Pankhurst continued to campaign for full voting rights, which were eventually granted to all women over 21 in 1928, shortly before her death. In later years, Pankhurst continued to be politically active, focusing on issues such as child welfare and advocating for better living conditions for women and children. She moved to Canada for a brief period but returned to Britain in the late 1920s. Emmeline died on June 14, 1928, leaving behind a legacy of unwavering determination and profound impact on women's rights. Though some of her tactics were controversial, they were instrumental in achieving significant milestones for women's suffrage in the UK. Here are some interesting facts. Emmeline Pankhurst and her daughters Chrysabel and Sylvia often found themselves at odds over the direction of the suffrage movement. Sylvia in particular disagreed with the WSPU's focus on upper and middle class women, advocating instead for working class women's rights. The Cat and Mouse Act of 1913 was specifically designed to deal with hunger striking, like Pankhurst. It allowed for temporary release of prisoners who were dangerously weak from hunger striking, only to rearrest them once they had recovered. Despite her militant stance, Pankhurst was a devoted mother. Her personal letters revealed a woman deeply concerned with the welfare and education of her children. In 1926, she ran for Parliament as a Conservative candidate, a surprising shift given her radical past. This move underscored her evolving political views and her continued commitment to women's rights within the existing political system. Emmeline's life was a testament to the power of resilience and conviction in the face of societal barriers. Her contributions to the suffrage movement and her strategic pivot during World War I significantly advanced women's rights in Britain. Pankhurst's legacy continued to inspire advocates worldwide, reminding us that enduring challenges often require both relentlessness and strategic adaptability. This is Megan signing off with Women of Work podcast. Don't forget to like, love, subscribe, comment, all those things. It really does help the podcast grow, and I would greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all.